want to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on when you're watching us. My name is Gatsby,
I'm Rell.
and you're tuned in to the latest edition of State of the Week, brought to you by your guys over at State Your Claim. But hold on, Royal, I know you got to tell them a couple things, so please talk to them, please.
I need you guys to like, I need
Huh?
you guys to comment, and
Yep.
I need you guys to subscribe.
Three
And make
things.
sure you stay in tune with us on all the social media networks: IG, X, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, all of them. Stay in tune.
That's right.
And if you can't watch us, you can always listen to us because
Mm-hmm.
we are on all the audio platforms. I'm not going to run through them, but we're there.
Right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. And listen, we're not going anywhere. Consistency. We're gonna bring the weekly content to you. And Royal, it's a whole lot going on this week. Obviously, some fashion, some big sales, right? Big brands. We got people who felt that were duped out here, right? For something that I don't think people really wanted to participate in, but we'll get to that. And then we also have a sneaker retro that I'm kind of like, I don't know. Is it something that we actually need? But we'll get to all that. Okay, so top of the top, let's get straight to it. Tell me, when was the last time that you've been really disappointed because you thought you were going to get one thing and you ended up getting the other thing? Has that happened to you lately?
Um, Not that I can think of off top.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Got it. Well, I'm glad you don't fall into this, but let's talk about this really big collab that's going on within the watch world. You're a big watch guy, so I really want to get your
Yeah.
feedback on this. Is the Audemars Piguet Swatch pocket watch? Sorry, people, it's not a wristwatch. It's a pocket watch, right? So Royal, online was going crazy over the last couple of weeks.
Mhm.
There were images popping up of an AP Swatch collaboration that people thought that it was an actual wristwatch done in 8 different colorways.
Mhm.
Now, people got some good information, some bad information. They were looking at it saying, "Oh my goodness, the watch is going to cost between $400 to $420." So there's the
Mhm.
Le Pain version, which has the 12 o'clock crown. There's a $420 version of the Savonette version, which is the 3 o'clock crown with the subdial. So when you think AP, you think what?
Long-standing luxury watch brand. They've been watchmakers. They've been in the world of horology for shit, decades, if not a century. I
Right.
want to say over a century.
I think 150 years,
Yeah,
about
so
150 years.
you know, this AP.
Right. It's AP. It's AP. It's AP. It's SWAT. And it's kind of this democratization of what luxury is and bringing it to a point where maybe it's more approachable for people to get involved with, right? Because not everyone can afford an AP. Not everyone can afford a Rolly, but maybe you can afford perhaps a $400, collab watch. But the thing is that online, the AI images have people thinking that this was a wristwatch, so much so that, again, another week, another line. So we had people waiting outside Swatch stores, especially in New York City,
Mhm.
right? Had camping out chairs days upon days, only to find out later on in the week that it wasn't what they thought it was. So it's a whole lot of chatter going on online. You're seeing a lot of artists, a lot of rappers, uh, actors, whatever, really upset about it, right? Because they said, yo, I invested several $1,000s in my AP, and now AP and Swatch are coming and watering it down. So what does that mean for my watch, right? People boo-hooing online and watch community wear saying that this is what it should be. Now, you being again a luxury watch guy yourself, how did you feel about that? Did you have those same feelings like other people did?
Those
Mm,
people are just stupid. That's like, do people have these same feelings when it's a Timberland and a Louis Vuitton collab? Or they like, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna buy the Louis times Tims because they have regular Tims that are $200. They're not gonna buy them.
mhm,
You know what I'm saying? Like people is just stupid. First of all, if you're into watches, they let you know that it wasn't a wristwatch from the beginning. They showed you a new way of telling time. They showed you the lanyard. If you follow Swatch and you know what a pop, they whole line of pop, most of the time it's pocket watches or it's watches that are on like canvas or nylon type bands. So you weren't going to get the classic AP band in the first place. However, you can pop it out of its holding. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be plenty of us of bands that, third market party bands. I'm pretty sure Swatch is gonna make a band for it as well, that you'll be able to just pop the watch out and then in the middle of the face out, pardon me, pop the face out and
mhm,
stick it on. So, the bands are gonna come, but I don't it doesn't affect AP at all. That's like, all right, if you have a S class,
mhm.
I go and buy a Maybach. Are you not gonna drive your Maybach because you have a S class that looks exactly like it?
No,
No.
I'm driving my
You're
shit.
gonna still drive your S, I'm still
Right,
gonna drive my Maybach, like,
right,
who cares?
right.
And then when I hear the rappers saying that, I'm like, "So, did you buy the watch because you're genuinely into watches, you care about movements, you care about what goes into making it, or did you buy it to say as a flex? Because that's what it's given. You bought it as a flex, and now you feel as though that somebody else that has something that's shaped like yours, but it leaps and bounds away from what you own, now you find it distasteful. And I'm gonna tell you this, it has the 51 movement by Swatch. So once that movement messes up, it is a mechanical movement, but it's a machine-made mechanical movement. It's not by hand. Once that movement makes up, the watch is done, people. You cannot fix the movement. However, Swatch, what they normally do is when their watches die after the warranty period. If the watch is 400, let's say they'll charge you maybe 230 for it. Something like that. You won't have to
Mhm.
pay full price.
To
If
get it
it breaks
repaired.
within a warranty period,
Right.
then they'll try their best as long as they have stock to just swap it out for you. But
Mhm,
bro, it's it's horology. It's a whole science to this. It's not the same thing. Now, will I buy one? Surely, because in due time, you'll just be able to walk into a SWAT store and grab it. Same thing with the Omega Moon swatches. And, that's just what it is. To elaborate on just a little more, I saw this one guy,
mhm,
um, it's one black guy, I can't remember his name, but he was talking about the resale value of it and how the Omegas aren't going for that much. I'm like, bro, you're showing the retail price now. Cause I personally grabbed a bunch of the moon swatches when they first came out because they were letting you buy one per style. So I grabbed every style. I got almost I got a majority of them all for 875, two of them all for 1,100, and one all for like 530 something. I
cooking,
don't know what he's talking about that they weren't,
cook
bro, they were selling. It's gonna be the same thing with the AP, they're gonna sell, and then it's gonna slow down with people reselling them, and if you live in major markets that have a SWAT store, you'll just be able to walk into the SWAT store or go online and buy one. This
right,
is what's gonna happen.
right. So, I mean, nah, I'm really glad we're doing this. Again,
Right.
if y'all don't know, my man Royal is into the watches. This guy knows it. You hearing it, you hearing it. This is a
I
different
meant
league. Go ahead.
I will
Yeah.
I will say this. He's absolutely correct. I am into the watches. However, I can't afford all the watches that I personally will get. One day I will have
Of
one
course,
day I will have a couple of my dream watches, but as of
of
right now,
course.
I can't afford all the watches that I particularly want. But however, I am still into horology
For
all the
sure.
way.
And listen, yo. obviously you're gonna get to it,
Oh, yeah,
we all
facts.
will. So it's
Yeah.
not it's nothing. So I think you brought up a lot of really valid points. It's funny, you have a lot of these rappers online boo-hooing and complaining. Meanwhile, they're the ones that be wearing a lot of fake shit in the first place. So so
Part.
so
That part.
so let's talk about that. So you want to be upset about some younger people being it, or people that are a little bit older being able to get involved with a luxury brand. You're upset about that. Meanwhile, y'all not even wearing the real shit half the time, you
I
know?
mean I feel like I like what Swatch is doing. I really
Mhm.
like it, how they're doing it Omega. Omega, they did millions, they sold millions of units. And I think it's a way of introducing younger generations into the whole watch world. And these kids who are buying it, they're eventually gonna want to buy the real, I don't want to say the real thing, but the luxury
It
version
kind
of
of
this watch.
matures them. It,
Yeah,
it it gets them. It gets them in,
right.
right? It
What
gets
if
them
this
curious.
Yeah, maybe
Doing
this
the
is their
research.
G-Shock. Maybe this generation's G-Shock. It was a point in time where G-Shock was all you needed.
That's it. That was
And
it.
that's cool. Maybe this is this generation's G-Shock. They're gonna take like I said, they're gonna take the face off and they're gonna put it on bands, straps once they start making them. Game over, bro. I'm not mad at them. I'm gonna do it myself.
Hey
I'm gonna
man,
do it. I'm personally going to do it myself. So
do
whatever.
that shit. And also now, it feels like you're getting light being exposed on other watch brands that are out there. Again, people, you can go and grab them. I know overseas, some of these facilities are already kind of doing their own versions of it. So, listen, you're gonna have the other market, right? That's going to do its thing and do numbers. I guess the last question I have for you is this: do you think that AP or Swatch had a greater responsibility to come out early on and say, "All right, y'all, just so you know, this is a pocket watch." Right. So you don't think that, so you think it was fine for them to go ahead and kind of let things manifest themselves in real time. People stand outside for days camping out thinking that is one thing or another. You don't have a problem with that. Because me personally, I don't, because
Marketing.
it's marketing, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you want to bring that light onto your brand?
Yeah. Plenty of other brands do it. You know, they wanted to line up. They didn't tell them to line up. That's what they wanted to do. They did it. The only
That's
thing I
true.
can say, and this is my last comment on this whole thing.
Hmm.
People, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please, 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 please. Now listen, I know I sold the Omega watches. I'm not knocking anyone for getting their money. Please get your money. But hear me out at the same time. The Omega one was an actual wristwatch. This is a pocket watch. Please, 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 for the love of God, please do not spend 2, 3, 4 grand on this. Please don't do it. Go and buy a real watch. Once you pass $2,000, go buy a real watch. Please do not buy this watch for 2 grand. Just go buy a real watch. That's all I have to say.
Or you
Buy a
gotta
real
say,
watch.
there you go. And last but not least, the watch actually does drop on May the 16th at select Swatch retailers. So you know, it might be a little ugly in the beginning, but to Royal's point, you'll probably be able to go in there at some point, go and grab that watch, do what you do with it, enjoy it. But I guess the last thing I'll just say is that I feel like a lot of times there's so much hype around products every single week. You know, it's like people just want to be a part of something. You
Yeah,
know,
of course.
they
Yeah.
don't need it. I don't even
FOMO.
think that, right. I don't even think that having the thing is as important of being a part of that moment, right? And I think that these type of situations really expose that. But yeah,
All the way.
yeah, but all right, cool. So let's move on from that. And all right, let's go back in the time machine for a second. Let's go back to 2003. What do you think of when you think of the year 2003? Just, it could be anything. Like, talk to me for a second.
Damn. Set.
Okay, yeah.
I mean,
Diplomatic immunity,
everything was lit back then. Dipset, Rockefeller,
right?
Smack DVD. Oh, Smack DVD.
Right.
Oh man, that was my
DVD.
shit.
Woo!
Cocaine City. Shout out to French.
Huh?
I mean, of course, G Unit. Of course.
Techno
Shit.
Marines talking about watches.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, that was a great year in hip hop, everything, man.
Really was, man. It really was. So you mentioned it. You mentioned G-Unit, right? So obviously there's this guy from Southside Jamaica, Queens, who released the album that year, Get Rich or Die Trying, February the 6th of 2003. Obviously, I'm talking about 50 Cent. Obviously,
You
that
had one of
album,
the wife beaters too.
the Two Exist joints. You
No,
say
you
you
had
think
one of those wife beaters, the G Unit. You had a G Unit beater, 50 Cent wife beater.
I didn't have a G-Unit beater, but I would tell you that I did have a Two Exist joint. I'm not gonna, I'm like, man, I got like three of them. I'm not even gonna hold you. I did get three of them.
Nah,
Um,
never.
huh? Never. Nah, I didn't
Never.
have the ones with the with the little colors on the side, but yeah, I fell for it. I fell for it, y'all. You know what I mean? But I fell for it. Not even gonna not even gonna front on there. But
Nah,
yeah,
that's dope.
listen, 2003 brought out a lot of that. Obviously, 50. It was almost like before 50 and after, right? You know,
Right.
when this album dropped, the seismic shift in the music industry, really things were just different. So generally when an artist drops their, you know, kind of debut album, it takes some time for them to get an endorsement deal. But he dropped this album in February. By June of 2003, he'd already signed an endorsement deal with Reebok. So, of course, this is the time where you have the S. Dot Carters with Reebok.
Uh-huh.
We just saw the ice cream board flip Reeboks recently
Yeah,
released.
Birdman had them bum ass lugs.
Woo! Yo, not the Birdman. I think yo, so it's funny, Birdman full page ads in the Source or Vibe magazine. I think also double XL, right, with them ugly ass lugs, but that'll be for another day. But
Oh, hold on.
what's up?
Soldier Boy had the Bapes. I got them all them fake ass Bapes he's rocking. I got me some
Oh,
bathing Nate.
Bathing Ape.
I got
I
me
got
he
me
had
some.
those. Yeah.
Mhm,
It
mhm.
was
Yeah, it was like this real big explosion of we'll take a rapper and we're gonna give him an ugly ass shoe.
right.
Not a good shoe, but a watered down version of the shoes you could actually buy from the retailer brand. So we're talking about the Reebok G-Unit G6 shoe that originally released in November of 2003 when the G-Unit Beg for Mercy album came out. So that shoe released, I think, a week prior to when the album came out. And it was announced recently via Tony Yayo and Uncle Murder. East New York. I got to say that every time I say Uncle Murder because that's just one of his taglines. But in any case, um, that this shoe is going to re-release. So rumor has it that this shoe is going to re-release. I want to say in July of 2026, but no one's really confirmed that. So I think we're in the era where everything gets a retro. I'm gonna just say this: not everything needs to get a retro. The board flips, ice cream. Okay, that's cool. Do we need this? Do you do you want this? Is 50 is are they influential to the point where people actually care now? Like, I have to know. Please talk to me. I think you're starting to talk to me with just how you're looking. Okay, absolutely not. Is that how you feel? Please don't show a parodies.
Right. If I show him if I show him let me run the Raws and see
Oh,
if I see a pair on the rack.
right,
The
right.
thrift store the thrift store or something.
The thrift store
Bro, you said it. You said everything. There's nothing for me to say. Some things don't deserve a retro. Some things should just be left. They belong in 2003. They probably what's the month again? You said November, right?
That's when they initially dropped. They dropped the week before the G Unit Beg for Mercy
Yeah, they
album.
probably didn't even make it to 2004. They probably didn't even make it to January.
Wow. Wow.
What's the what's my son what's my son name on Instagram? What's his Will something? The chubby nigga with the beard. He always got the top 5. He's got the mad
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That's right. Yup, yup.
his voice. Pack them up. Yeah,
Pack
that
them
that
up. Pack them
pack them
up.
up. Yeah, pack them up, man. Fuck them G units, man. I love yo, shout out to it's always big queens, but those, nah.
Nah, we can keep those. Yeah, I don't it yeah, oh, dog. Wait, not the hurricane. I'm telling you, listen, that 2003, 2004, 2005 time frame, that was a messy time.
Who
I
else
want
had
to
a
say
bum ass sneaker? Who else had a bum ass sneaker?
I want to say Funk Flex had a lug shoe.
Yeah, with spinners. Who had the joints with spinners? He had the lugs with spinners.
No, 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 no. Latrell
He
Sprewell
had
had
the
the
rims,
Dada. Oh, you're right.
the
You're
Dada
right.
spinners. Yeah, the
Right.
Dada
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
spinners.
That's right. That's right. Remember, car stop, rims keep spinning.
Yeah, I remember that, but I'm like, someone Dada had the spinning. Nah, man. It was a lot of bad
Mm-mm-mm.
shoes in 2003, boy.
Horrible, horrible. So, you had some good things in that era. You know, I just think that, again, some things could just stay where they are. You know what
Right.
I mean? We can appreciate what they did at the time, but
Yo,
I'm not doing it.
what was that bum ass shoe Master P had? What were those called? Not the
Oh,
proteges, or they proteges?
they were the P. Millers.
P.
They were the
Miller. Yeah.
the P. Millers, but he manufactured his own shoe, didn't he?
I don't give a fuck who manufactured them. This shit was dirt too. Yo, it
Well,
was a lot of bad shoes back
oh
then.
my god, yo.
Oh man, I think about it was a lot of bad shoes.
And you know what's crazy around that time too? You had actual like big name NBA players leaving big sneaker brands and going over to some of these. I think Chris Webber
But yeah,
was
he had
wearing
Dada. Chris
Dadas.
Webber had Dadas.
I mean, he lucky that he never injured himself.
Chris
I
Webber
mean,
definitely had the Dadas.
he had the Dadas. I said Latrell. Latrell Sprewell was wearing some Dadas. You know, them and1 sneakers were not it. They were not it. I like the shorts, but the shoes were not it. Yeah, it was a oh, he about to bring out some and1s. Let me see. Let me
Hell no,
find it.
I'm not bringing out no and ones. I'm just
What
trying
is
to
it?
think about.
The
I'm
Tai
just thinking about other
Chi?
rappers who have buff. I'm just thinking about other rappers who have bum ass sneakers.
The Outcast has some sneakers?
No, they probably was in ads or something.
Yeah, it's a lot. Anyway, whenever these G Unit G6 Reebok shoes come out, you can have them. Enjoy. Um, I'm chilling on that. And I don't know, I guess, Reebok is playing into the nostalgia factor, but I really don't know like who these shoes will actually be for. But knock
Mm-hmm.
yourself out. Knock yourself out. Yeah. I don't know. Look like you're doing
But yeah,
some
what you
research.
call his line was definitely out too. Missy's ME line, but her line wasn't trash though.
I don't even remember that. I remember
Yeah, I
Missy.
remember that. I remember that for
Okay.
sure. I
Well,
interviewed her about that. I definitely remember that.
got it, got it. She was with Adidas back in the day too.
Yeah, yeah,
For
that's
for
what it was.
oh,
It
oh,
was
you mean oh, right, oh, that's what you meant. Okay, I
ME
thought
by Adidas.
okay, got it, got it. Okay, I thought you were
Yeah.
talking about
Mm-mm.
something that she did away from that. Okay, yeah,
No,
well,
no, 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 no. It was Adidas. That's
yeah,
who it was
yeah,
with.
yeah, yeah. I mean, this is a time where every rapper had their own clothing line, Outkast clothing, Snoop Dogg clothing. I'm
Yeah,
like, yo, like just put your name on it, slap your name on some shit, and then and just
facts.
and just sell it. It's like not everyone can be Sean John, everyone can be Rockefeller. Now, the G-Unit shoes at the time, people bought them. I didn't, you know what I mean? But yeah, we can keep that where they are. I'm really curious to see what that looks like in 2026. I just really am.
I don't know. Somebody's gonna bite the fucking apple.
That's right.
Somebody.
That's right. Yeah. All right. You got anything else you want to talk about with G Unit, Reeboks, re-releasing?
No. No.
No. Okay. All right. We can move on. We can move on from that. All right. Last but certainly not least, let's switch gears. Okay. And it seems like every other week there's another major sale going on within the LVMH family.
Yep.
So this one is pretty important. We always talk about getting money over here. What if I told you, Royal, that Marc Jacobs brand was recently sold for $850 million to WHP Global and G3 Apparel Group?
Yeah, so I saw that they split it for 425 million apiece.
Right. Yep.
I'm not so I'm not mad at it being sold because that always goes along with pardon, excuse me, with what we say would get money.
Mm-hmm.
However, my personal opinion is that Marc Jacobs as a person, as an entity, as a brand, for all that he's contributed to fashion, all that he is, I feel as though that his name itself is worth $1 billion. That's my personal opinion.
100%. Well,
Like if they would have
clearly,
just said they sold it for $1 billion, I'd be satisfied. I still think that's a little short for him, but I I I I I feel like just the amount that it was sold for is a bit disrespectful to him. I'm not saying they disrespected him. I'm not
right.
saying that. I feel like the amount is a bit disrespectful to Marc Jacobs because it's Marc Jacobs.
Given and so just to put it in context, y'all, like Marc Jacobs is one of them ones
Right.
within fashion. Let me just run down just some of the stats because we literally don't have the time to do it. VP of women's wear at Perry Ellis. He was at Louis Vuitton for a significant amount of time. He was a creative director. So just so you know,
Hold
prior
on.
to Mark, go ahead.
What were you about to say? Let me hear what you're about to say first. To make sure we're not about to say the same thing. Go ahead.
So I was going to say that prior to him, they did not have a ready to wear line.
All right.
All right.
But
So that's what I was going. But go ahead. I think
but
you
with
wanted to
Louis,
ask, huh?
yeah, he also brought the menswear.
He brought the menswear. I was going to get to that.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
So
why, like,
really,
come on, man.
so really transition him then from just luxury bags, right, into menswear, ready to wear. What are some of the other things that, we got out of Marc Jacobs? Obviously, the legendary graffiti bags, right? The Murakami collaboration. Now, just in awards alone, this man has won the CFDA award for Women's Wear Designer of the Year, Menswear Designer of the Year, Accessory Designer of the Year 3 times. And that's just some of his work. Obviously, most recently, you all know him for his own brand. Now, I will say that if you look in the news, if you look at the statistics, his sales have dipped, throughout the years. So, and LVMH obviously has been looking to trim their roster. They've been doing that
Right.
with a bunch of different brands to kind of redefine this idea of luxury. Honestly, I feel like they're trying to slowly get away from being a big conglomerate of all these clothing brands, right? But I agree with you. Like Marc Jacobs, clearly his brand it almost sold for Billy, right? So you saying like it should have gone for that? It almost did. Um, but again, now we're gonna see that brand really pop up and show up everywhere. So no longer will it have that same idea of that kind of high level luxury. You're going to find it in different places. it's all about scale, especially with
Right.
G3 Apparel Group. I believe they have Calvin Klein, and a couple other brands under them. And obviously, over the years, things have changed with them. So, we talk about getting money. I just, I'm curious on perhaps like what's next for him. Does he do, what else does he want to do? Is there anything else for him to do? Because he's kind of already done it all.
Um, I don't really think it's anything else for him to do.
Hmm.
Um, I wouldn't mind seeing him back at one of the houses. I
Right.
also
A couple houses could use him.
Yeah, I also wouldn't mind, so I forgot the name, and it's crazy because I have a couple of the pieces too. Um, Calvin Klein, is it West 39th Street? It was at 55 West 39th, something like that. When Calvin Klein brought Raf on board, I really liked that. I really liked that collection, those designs that he did. I was a big fan of it. Like I said, I own a couple pieces.
Hmm.
I wish they would have kept that up, but at the same time, I understand why he left. I mean, he went to Prada. Who wouldn't? I wouldn't mind Marc Jacobs doing something like that with a brand. Taking a brand, one of the maybe what do you say is G3?
Uh, yeah, yeah. G3 Apparel Group. Yeah.
G3. I wouldn't mind him taking one of the brands that they have and sort of kind of coming out with like, a upscale version of what a brand already has.
Mm. So kind of doing the reverse.
Yeah, but
And
Marc Jacobs, I feel like he's one of those brands that could benefit from scaling back a bit, but according to what you just said according to what you just said, he's about to be in, as I say, he's about to be in a slutted out period.
that's right.
S so, yeah, I
And
think he could benefit from that for
yeah,
sure.
I mean, it's always get money. Yeah, it's just interesting because, online people are talking like, I don't know if I can look at his brand the same. And to me, is y- I think yes, you can, because he's not just defined by this just one thing, right? I think you have to look at the totality of his career. And this is quite frankly what happens. This is what happens with brands. Sometimes they do get passed around. Who knows what the future holds? But it certainly, in my opinion, doesn't diminish anything that he's done. And quite frankly, he just got caught up in the conglomerate shit.
I do think though that he tried to, in my personal opinion, but this goes against my our saying, "Get money."
Hmm.
He was definitely getting money, but I think he did try to appeal to too many people. I think he tried to check too many boxes because you have him making runway pieces, you have him selling pieces that are $2,000, some shit $5,000, but then you have that tote bag that I see everybody and their mother with. Half of them look dusty and dirty.
Yeah, they always beat up,
So
never
yeah,
crispy.
so it's like you see that all the time walking around, and it's like you start putting Marc Jacobs next to Michael Kors,
It's funny you mentioned
so
that. Yeah, yeah,
so I
right.
I I sorta kinda get it, and I wish he that's why I said I wish he would've stayed more so in the luxury realm, and not try to adhere to other markets, but, is what it is.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I think that there's certain group of people who look at his brand as being luxury, and then there's other people like, oh, you mean the totes? So it is kind of crazy how you had that duality. Maybe had he had, created another brand, right, that was, you could say, more approachable, financially, where, you do some of these kind of grab and go items, right, where it's a bit different from his actual namesake brand. Maybe it's a bit different. Look, again, I just think that he's definitely one of them goats out there, Hall of Famers, got all the accolades, got all the awards. He's turned up. he's done things that are just quite frankly legendary. Um,
Right.
you know what I mean? So to me, it certainly doesn't diminish what he has done. Um, this is what happens. This is legit what happens, and everyone will get caught up in the crossfire. We talked about it weeks ago. You don't have control, right? When you sell your brand to a larger conglomerate, now it can be passed around. You know, you no longer have the ability to do that, but also you getting real money. I mean, not that these other designers aren't, but you getting big boy money.
Yeah.
So there's always something that comes with that.
You know
There's
how
the yin and yang.
Karl Lagerfeld died at Chanel and at Fendi? That's what I always envisioned for like Marc Jacobs. I always envision him just eventually going to like a big name house and he just finishing his career there, like, just going off into the sunset at some brand. And I don't see that happening. And I'm like, this is Marc Jacobs. And I think one of these days he's not going to be here with us. And then we're going to look back and be like, damn, we didn't really appreciate him like we should have while he was alive. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, listen, I mean, God willing, he got a long life ahead of him.
Yeah,
You know,
he's still got
he's
plenty
going
of time
he's
left,
going he's going
but
he's going he's going to do his thing.
yeah.
Um, Also, really nice guy. You know what I mean? We done
Yeah,
seen
he
him.
is. He's very approachable.
He will
Very.
talk to you. He will talk to
Fact,
you
fact.
honestly,
Yeah,
right?
he will.
So, it's always cool when you meet somebody in person. They're normal, right?
And and once again, since we've been talking about this the past couple of weeks,
Mm,
he was on the Vans wave early, people.
he
He
was.
was on it. He was on the collaboration wave early,
Big facts.
and
Big
people
facts.
were after him.
That's
But
true.
anyway,
That's true. Yeah, super talented. And you never know. Maybe he wants to fall back for a little bit. And guy is a creative genius. So it's no telling what's next for him. Yeah, we'll just see what happens. We'll just see what happens. All right, so that's all I got. I know sometimes, Royal, you may have something to either get off your chest or you got something up your sleeve. So it's a clear out right now. I'm passing over to you. You got any final thoughts? Anything else you want to talk about today?
well, oh yeah, 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 I do.
Oh,
So,
all right.
I like to make a special announcement to everybody.
Okay.
Um, I thought long and hard about this.
Mm,
I'm definitely seeing other people who've been moving in this direction, and I feel as though it's only right that I myself also move in this direction. So, with that said, I am hereby, from this moment on, going by Dr. Royal Rell. Since people don't need doctorates, since you don't have to have any proof of your dissertation, you don't have to have any transcripts, you don't have to have any proof of your degree to be a doctor nowadays, I am officially Dr. Royal Rell.
okay. Um, so are you gonna be the type of doctor like Dr. Umar? Or, I mean, are you gonna
He's
be the type
all
of
right. So Dr. Umar is actually a doctor. He's not licensed to practice, but he actually graduated and has his doctorate degree and has proof of it. Yeah, so
okay?
leave him out of this.
Okay, so we're not gonna go there. I just learned something because I actually did not know that. All right, so
Yes,
what do you okay, so Dr. Royal Rell, what are you gonna do with your new platform? I mean, because with such a
I'm going.
prestigious title, no, hold on. With such a prestigious title, I feel like you need to either cure, you need to educate people, you need to do both of those things, or you need to just talk a whole lot of crazy shit. So where do you fall within the spectrum of being Dr. Royal Rell?
I'll probably teach classes. I'll
Okay.
probably do therapy if people need it, especially people who are addicted to retail. I can help you out with that. Um, and just know I'm going to charge you an arm and leg for my services. I'll probably go around and do a lot of speeches and stuff like that,
Huh?
and act like I know what the fuck I'm talking about, and get plenty of people to pay to hear me speak.
Pay to hear you
I just
speak.
want
Okay.
to. Everyone else is doing it. I want to do it too. I want to get money.
Alright, well, I mean, so it sounds like you're gonna be selling some merch online soon, huh? You're gonna have tees, we're gonna have hats, like, what are we doing there? Because all these new doctors, they,
Yeah. I'm on
they
my
trying to
Dr. Cheyenne I'm on my Dr. Cheyenne Bryan shit, man.
yo.
That's what I'm on. She ain't gotta prove it, I ain't gotta prove it. You heard
They
what
gotta
she said? She ain't gotta prove herself to no one but God, me neither. God said, "I'm a doctor, I'm a doctor."
I actually think that you could help people with the retail shit. Now the therapy, I mean, you and I do have some really solid ass conversations offline, so I could see that for you. Um, hey man, listen, don't get people's hopes down. That's all I have to say. So are you changing your IG handle or is you gonna put doctor? Like, I mean, are
Yeah, Imma put in my bio,
put in your
"Doctor,
bio.
don't ask me of what."
Does the attire change or are we a new age doctor? Like, I didn't know more.
I don't know, Imma keep wearing the
Okay.
same thing.
All right, that's what's up. So Rolly's still on the
Might
wrist.
get some specs, I don't know.
Might get yo. See, I shouldn't even ask. I shouldn't even ask your crazy ass about this, and this is what I get. All right, well,
Yo, man, but with that said,
yeah.
make sure you guys like, make sure you comment, and make sure you subscribe. And as I always say, man, if you like something, you're dick riding. If you don't, you're hating. I mean, so with that said, do you. I was about to say, I've been going through this all day with all the Drake fans. Well,
Oh,
stands, not the
oof,
fans. The
oof,
stands.
oof.
I'm not gonna
Ice.
say I don't like Drake, but I'm not a Drake stan. But
Well, maybe
these
you
3
can.
albums ain't it. But anyways, that's another story for another day.
The fact that, yeah, you know what? I'm not even gonna get into it. People were waiting up late at night for Iceman, and they got Maid of Honor, and I forget what the other one is called.
Habibi, Habibi
Habibi,
team. I know how
Habibi
to say
team, something
Habibi,
like
but
that.
yeah,
Right. Well, maybe you can cure some of these Drake stands of all the hate that they have in their hearts. You know what I mean? Maybe
yeah, I'll do that
you,
too. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, you
fact,
you 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 add that to your bio, okay? Add that to your bio, okay? That you can cure Drake fans.
facts, facts. I'd make a pretty penny doing that.
Yeah, you could, cause it's a lot of them out there, man. It's a lot of them out there,
Facts,
bro.
facts.
Yo, you wild, man. You know that. All right, well, yeah, that's all I got.
Me
Listen,
too, man.
ladies and gentlemen, I never know what's gonna happen at the end of this. Y'all, I promise you, we not playing this shit. I promise you on that. I'm hearing it in real time. But with that being said, just want to say we appreciate you all tuning in.
Always
Stick with us. We're gonna ride with you. We got a lot of upcoming content, some good ideas coming across the line. And
facts.
yeah, man, we just gonna keep growing each and every week. With that being said, my name is Gatsby,
I'm Dr. Royal Rell.
the Royal Rell, and this has been another edition of Dr. Royal Rell and Gatsby's State of the Week, brought to you by State Your Claim. And with that said, we out.
Man, peace.
All right, y'all. Be good. Be good.
Easy.
Claim your